Hello, my name's Emma and I'm the owner of Myrtle Me Flowers in Bath, and thank you for asking me to talk about my favourite flower. It's really difficult to try and pin one down, but if I have to choose one, I think it has to be the hydrangea, and this is probably because of how I started in my life with flowers, and that was by having a 100-foot garden in Wiltshire and growing and drying flowers, and my flower hero was and is Kenneth Turner, and the things that he did with dried flowers then just inspired me. And I think for me then the hydrangea was the queen of the dried flower, and now in the shop it performs well as a cut flower, as a pot plant, and also as a garden plant, and I do sell lots and lots of them, and I'm very enthusiastic, and they still excite me, and I still love the colours and everything that they do for me in the shop. So hydrangeas as a cut flower, the thing to know really is there's probably a list as long as your arm of old wives' tales of what you must do to keep a cut hydrangea lasting in a vase, but really there's only one thing to know, and it's that you must purchase some of this, and it's called alum powder, and you'll find it in the Asian aisle of a supermarket or from an Asian grocery with the spices for making your curry, and it's something that they use in Indian cookery for pickling vegetables, and it keeps the vegetables crisp. And what it does with hydrangea is it's telling the stem to drink and to support that flower head, and it does it really well. I mean, in the past we used to cut them, put them in boiling water or float them in a bath or try and keep spraying them, but this powder, it's just a miracle, and I tend to sort of sell a little bit of it and advise customers every time I sell them, and I never get them back now. So hydrangeas as cut flowers, they're fantastic for floristry because they just perform so well, you know, for a nice table decoration. 3 lovely hydrangeas and lovely foliage, you know, really it nails it. With bridal work, fantastic in the large arrangements and the tables and decorating. They are a bit Marmite for brides now. A few years back they were definitely the trend, and white hydrangeas and limelights and one thing and another, but as I say, the trend now probably is for smaller sort of naive flowers. This is pre-COVID, and they're sort of, for brides it's like a Marmite thing. If they do like them, fantastic. So selling hydrangeas in the shop, I sell a lot of hot plant hydrangeas that people have in their house for sort of 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, that gives a hydrangea giving a good display, like a bouquet, for probably half of the cost, and also then you've got the chance then of planting them out and seeing how they do in the garden, the promise of something else. And a lot of customers come back and tell me how their hydrangea is performing now, 15 years later. No, and it's lovely to hear. I love selling hydrangeas for the garden because they just make the shop look magnificent out the front, and I love all the different colours of hydrangea. I love all the different flower shapes. I love paniculatas, I love limelight. I mean, the lime green of the limelight, there's no other sort of colour like it in floristry. It's beautiful in wedding work. Not so much the actual bouquet, because if it was to wilt, it's going to leave you quite with a big hole. Hydrangeas for drying, I mean, that's the big thing at the moment. And if you're going to pick your hydrangeas from your garden for drying, just leave it until the couple of weeks before the first frost, because as the nights draw in and the hydrangea's cooled, the flower head is cooled at night, it changes from sort of floppy to quite stiff and firm, very papery, each little petal, and this means it's in a perfect condition for drying, and really there's no effort involved at all. just bring them in, cut them from round the side. Try not to cut them in the middle of the bush because you'll lose the flower there for the next year. So cut them round the side maybe where you can't see them so much, and do the powder treatment. Put them in only about sort of 2 centimetres of water, and then that evaporates and the flower head will dry. And just ensure that you support the flower head, otherwise the petals turn over on themselves and it doesn't give you such a good shape for using in arrangements later on. If I can, I will bring them home to dry, because I've got down there a not a drying room, but there's where the immersion heater is. With that bit of warmth, it just dries them quicker and just more effectively. And you try to dry them in not direct sunlight, you know, keep them out of the light a bit, because they do fade out. You know, and dried properly, they'll last for a couple of years. They look lovely. I mean, the trend for at the moment is everything's sprayed and dyed, and they just for Christmas there's kind of nothing like it. So they do just keep performing on every level, and that's probably why I love them. Thank you.